Hi. I gave this stream a couple minutes, so it didn't go back to the same thing. There's a new update coming. I'm hoping that whatever update they push out addresses the fucking ridiculous lag that is in this stupidly addicting but laggy fucking game. I couldn't stay away from this game. Do you understand? Like, Dragon Age Inquisition is an amazing game. I definitely see, like, so if it hadn't been for Stellaris, and I actually I was playing Dragon Age Inquisition like on my other stream. I showed I have 70 hours on a playthrough that's probably I don't know. Partly was something that's probably like 2/3 of the way complete. But I was fairly happy with Dragon Age Inquisition because I got to a specific map, and that map was so sort of. I don't know. There was something wrong with the map. For when I first got there, it didn't hit my brain the right way. So I don't know. I kind of fell out, and then I got really stressed about something else. And then when I got really stressed about something else, like I said, when I get stressed out, my mind turns to, Sins of a Solar Empire, and apparently now Stellaris. I think I would still prefer a Sins of a Solar Empire 2 over a Stellaris, but that's where my body's going right now. But had I not gotten sidetracked, as it were, into Stellaris, which, it made me start streaming again. I don't really know why either. I don't know what it was. There was something about it. I was like, I really want to play Sins of a Solar Empire. And then I was like, you know what? Oh, because I think I was looking up. I remember what it was. I was looking up a new game to play. I don't think it was a galaxy size, but let's still step it down slightly. None of you guys, no Fallen Empire, any of that, none of that. Let's go ahead and spread it out a little bit. Do 18. That's fine, that's fine. I don't know if we want to do clusters or not. Let's not do clusters, let's give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. None of that bullshit. Indian Crisis is completely fine now. And I think I said I wanted to try the floor on this time. So there we go. But yeah, I had actually been watching I was looking for a new gameplay because of the whole issue with, I should turn the tutorial on just to get that guy something to talk about. And you don't even understand how much better I feel having the music playing in my head and just sort of, I feel better. I feel so much better right now than I did when I was in Inquisition. But I remember I was watching. Where? I kind of wish I could do one of those. But I remember I had been trying to figure out what game to buy to replace them for Solar Empire, and I had just found watching people's playthroughs of them and listening to them talk about it was really relaxing for me. And I was like, hey, I can, it's only an ASMR video, but I can at least recommend that. But apparently my videos don't work if I want to watch a couple apps. I don't know, I just got to like a habit of now. It's kind of funny though, because like my Inquisition stream, I would have people pop in all the time. Yeah, my Inquisition stream, I would have people popping in all the time. It wouldn't stay very long, but it was definitely a bit of a jaded place from Stellaris. Nobody really wants Stellaris very much. It's my
situation log updated.
Playthroughs of it, which is fine. But it is one of those things where it's like, going back to what feels right for you is gonna sort of cost you any views or whatnot. Which again, I never set out to do the whole I'm purely playing this because it's a popular game, so if I play this game, a whole bunch of people will watch me. I always did want to be a streamer, and I always hoped I would be, a popular one, I guess. But I mean, at this point, I stream just because it was. I'm more used to having the stream going than not, and it feels kind of weird to not have it on. So, back to this shit while you're doing I do figure my streams aren't quite the same in terms of like I just talk. I'm just like, this is what's on my head for right now.
Anomaly found.
This is what I'm thinking about right now. It doesn't necessarily correlate to the rest of the game or any of that stuff. So maybe that's why. I don't know. We'll see. I won't lie, I do kind of hope for some uptick for when I start playing Mass Effect Andromeda, but I have the sneaking suspicion that because I'm not 100% talking about, whatever aspects of the game that I'm dealing with at the moment. It's like Kanye? Kanye. Oh, yeah. At least it's not like weird. 14, that's a minuscule planet. That's a big planet. So, what did I say? 18? I think this galaxy size comes with 25 natively. 25 different other wow, I have a lot. Different other forms of government or different other cities. And I dropped that.
Anomaly found.
Just this sort of, I did no clustered starts, and I did 18, just to kind of get a better feel for, just being able to grow a little bit more before you start reaching people. So it's seven different, seven civs less. I'm curious as to how big of a difference that will make. I mean, it's not an insignificant number. I'm not gonna lie. There's this weird feeling. It's like, okay, now you've got your Stellaris fix. Now you can go back to Dragon. And I don't know. Whenever, like, I don't mind. There's always a weird period when you're sort of in the middle of doing a couple things, but like, I think it was just. Oh, I'm not even doing anything with my construction stuff. I think it was really just the, just the frustration, right? I had just, started rebuilding my fleet. I had
System survey complete.
Attacking somebody else and going to war, and I had all these plans and whatnot. And I think it's the what do I have? Oh, I think it was the frustration of having the whole war in heaven thing start. And when that started, it locked out my game, and it took this away, and it took that away, and I think just the whole just the whole feeling of you had been working on something, and now you're not, because not so much that you lost, not so much that this or that had happened, but literally because some random event happened in the coding of the game. It's just like what happens with Sins of a Solar Empire. Where you just you're doing something and then you run into engine limitations. It's not like you wanted to stop playing, and because it's less like a choice that you made and more just the situation that's forced on you. I think that's why my brain sort of just needed to come back here. And that being said, I've started so many different playthroughs, and the beginning,
System survey complete.
This part is fun in terms of exploring and seeing what's out there and all that stuff, but it's definitely a lot slower. I do wish I was playing Sins of a Solar Empire. I feel like I can get farther in this game, though, than a Sins campaign. I don't know. Come tomorrow, I may be ready for Inquisition now that I've sort of doused myself back into the feel of Stellaris to sort of get rid of that frustrated feel, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Construction complete.
And I can actually start this campaign and have something waiting. Or I can do Mass Effect. I mean, since that's... I don't know, I'm kind of in a weird spot now. It's just like... when you watch a show. You know that feeling when you watch a show and then you finish the show and then you don't really have anything left to do, you're just like, what do I do now? It's kind of what this feels like. And I think it's mostly because of just how slow the game starts. Like, I need this sort of conflicts and, who's around me, what can I do with them, how does this work, blah, 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 blah. Man, I remember all of last week when I didn't know how to go to war and I was like, I'm just trying not to make anybody mad. It's funny. I think Sins of a Solar Empire is definitely better at introducing you to the general feeling of conflict. Just the whole game locks up, and that's annoying as fuck. And I mean, I could go back, I guess, to the non-modded version, but I mean, one of the reasons mods exist in a way is just to sort of, fill in the space that was never really properly addressed by, well, not so much properly addressed, right? But it's sort of like, the developers make this game. And what's interesting is, like, not so much interesting, but you definitely do start to get the people who are like, well, you should have done this, and you should have done that, and I would have done this, and I would have done that. And what what I can appreciate about mods is that there's this feeling where they kind of, I don't know, like it feels like they can be made to address some of the concerns that may not otherwise. Oh, I had such an amazing start last time too. I was like
Construction complete.
so mineral rich. I'm really missing that right now.
Situation log updated.
Technically, they're only space wells, but I always call them space well cows for some reason. So I don't know, the 4 rings, because I got locked in pretty badly last time, and this definitely gives you more avenues of getting around versus being locked in the 2-ring one. The elliptical was definitely best for that, but it also felt a little too unrestrained. Almost like I don't know how to put it. Like it was just kind of bleh. Like, here's the stars, and then maybe you can go up here, and maybe you can't go up here. And, oh no, he's put something here, and now you know, it was just sort of random, or
Anomaly found.
I just kind of missed the whole strategery, as former President George W. Bush would say. Like, just the sort of this gives you, you know, this feels like my arm. And so then if we can meet somebody else up here, somebody else, this is our arm, and there's a whole other conflict happening over here, and there's a whole other conflict happening over here, and then maybe you can, you know, jump over here and jump over here and start intervening or start interfering, and it just adds like a different level of play almost that was just missing from the. Should be watching my shit. I haven't played this in all of like 2 days, and I'm already feeling like I'm out of practice. You know, it just feels like there's more strategy or more. Surprisingly enough, it feels like there's more options with the separations there versus the elliptical.
Construction complete.
The 2 arms it touched on that, but it also felt like you could get locked in a lot easier. Ironically enough, however, the position
System survey complete.
We're in right now is one of like the 3-lane paths. And a couple 4-lane paths. No, I think they're all 3 lanes. Interesting. So it's pretty much all 3 lanes. Hawkeye. Star Sign is good. I think we just got really lucky with that start on that 2-lane balance. It was ridiculously mineral rich before. And this one, we get a decent amount of energy, which should help if we find the same sort of minerals. We're going to be finding them. I really am, because this is only supposed to have, it's supposed to have 25 civilizations here, and I dropped it down to 18, like I said, to give everybody more space, but My mind is saying that even 25, it feels like this would be sparsely populated, but I think I'm just not remembering it correctly. I really need them to come out with Sins of a Solar Empire too. Like, I can't help but compare to that. And my mind just sort of says, well, if you were in Sins, you'd be doing this, but not the other. It's just such a good game. Just in terms of, like, the one thing so Stellaris is obviously ridiculously addicting since it made me come back here and I couldn't even sync with Dragon Age Inquisition. But, like, the one thing I definitely appreciate about Sins of a Solar Empire, maybe I should switch to a hyperlane only, that may sort of bring back that same sort of feel. Because the one thing I miss is, like, in Sins of a Solar Empire, like, this planet could be a chokehold point. And if it's a chokehold point, then that means that ups its importance. So technically everything behind it is safe, and this becomes a critical place where you have to lock down. But it just felt
Construction
weird.
complete.
Like, when I put it on hyperlane only, and admittedly I did it on my work computer. Excuse me, not my work computer, my Surface. But it felt like trying
Anomaly
to
found.
shoehorn shoehorn it in. I mean, technically, I just started it, so I could try it. And I've heard that sort of adds that same level of strategy that I'm looking for when you start throwing stuff like that in. I would miss my wormholes, though. You know what? I might as well do it. We haven't really done much of anything. We've all explored all of one. Alright. As a final hurrah, the final chance to this game before I go play something else for a while. What do we decide on? 12:50, I think, right? I'm gonna pump it back up to the 15. I'm gonna do four arms again. I think I will leave it at 30. Oh, it was at 25 for the 12:50. What was 1,000 at? 20. Oh, okay, so that's actually a pretty big difference. We'll see that at 30. None of you. You guys can fuck right off. You broke my last game. Let's bump this up slightly. What do you think? No, I don't want to do that. That always feels weird right now. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, so hyperlane only, right? Hyperdrive. No, none of that. Okay. Okay. Let's see how weird this feels. Maybe I'll adapt to it. I think, you know what I think it is? I think once you start getting into wormholes, first, please give me. Dude, that solar panel network thing is so critical to how I play, and it so didn't come up last time. It was driving me mad. Ooh, that's early. Don't want to do that. What do I typically do here? Engineering. This is actually kind of important. I always sort of slack on that. Let's just go ahead and do it the other way. Alright, that's on. Alright, policies and objects. There's only like 2 or 3 that I mess with. No slavery, no purging, migration, settlement. Economy is pro market. Ideology is fear of enlightenment. I think that's it. Yes, and then okay, okay. And then you explore all of this. And then we're building your science ship. I think that's it. And go. And where do we end up? Wow, that looks really weird. Didn't I do forearm? I didn't. Shit, I'm recording. Damn it. Sorry. I thought I did forearm. No, because I was fucking around up here. Forearm. Okay. And then you broke my last game. No, because I don't like that one. Maybe we start at the beginning. Hyperdrive, and I think just in case the game decides to break and say, hey, I know you said you don't want to have anybody who's advanced, but we're going to put somebody beside you. And hey, look, they're xenophobe, isolationist, and they've killed you. Which happened on the game. That was fun. That was great. Alright. Oh, solitary networks, and conscious, and... No, you're just an upgrade. You are an engineering facility. That? No. Shaita. You're more important. Okay. Thank you again. What do I mess with? Ideology. And production focus. No. Economy. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Pro market. What I wanted. Yes. And then thought. And then comic score. More. Unpause, and where do we begin? Okay, that looks better. That looks weird. I'm not used to how this looks. I think the thing about it is, with Wormhole, you start and you have your first sort of wormhole generated thing. So you kind of are like, oh, hey, this is sort of my area. I don't have any of that, so it kind of leaves me feeling a bit weird. We can adapt. So what that means, however, okay, so critical. This may actually turn out to be kind of interesting. I have no idea how this will actually evolve.
Construction complete.
Okay, now that I'm sort of pondering, that's actually incredibly important. What do you do? What do you do? High span, research speed. I'm gonna go ahead and get you. I'm gonna put commanding here. Yes, I know. And then I will admit, watching some of my I'm used to just sort of exploring the whole bubble, versus sort of, this is going to be weird. my entire thought process is designed around how wormholes work. I'm going to have to try to refigure out how to... This should be interesting. So, maybe the same sort of... Look at that background. That looks amazing. Wow, I really like this one. I don't spend that much time in this view, though. I will admit, the hyperdrive animation thing like this looks pretty cool, though. Isn't it supposed to be faster, too, or something? I don't know. I spend most of my time in this view versus a normal view.
Situation log updated.
So this should be interesting, I think. Because I read a lot about how when you start going to hyperdrive only, you start throwing that same sense that you got back in Sons of a Solar Empire. But the way this game plays isn't quite the same. So, Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same.
Anomaly found.
Maybe that's just my mind comparing it to, how much experience I've got with the Solar Empire. But I don't know. What about you? More energy credits and less building costs. I mean, less things. Specific. I always prefer the lowering the cost of your mining colonies, mining facilities. I never seem to be able to get that. And there's no ethos that does it either. I do have the ethos that sort of leaves you more minerals, but the one to lower the cost of the actual mining colonies and all that stuff. Research seems to be much harder to find. My mind is really trying to figure
Anomaly
out
found.
how a map like this will unfold. Because it's not quite the same. Like in Synthesis Solar Empire, I mean, yes, there's some level of alliances and people getting together and helping each other, but for the most part, it's just combat all the time. Which, like I said, I definitely preferred to this feeling, to this one, especially when I was first starting in Stellaris, because, especially with a start this slow, it's research. I'd never played the pure 4X, or this I think is called the grand strategy versus the 4X. And, it's explore and expand and exterminate. Explore, expand. Explore, expand. Exterminate and exploit. And, when you start out this slow, you
Anomaly found.
Oh, hey, I'm just going to be peacefully exploring the galaxy. Finding all the cool things that are out and about. And it's like, it wasn't like that. Well, it was like that, and it's like that right now. But at the same time...
Construction complete.
You sort of... I don't know, you sort of... It tricks you.
Construction complete.
Into a false sense of security. I'm playing this super this up. Because then you do meet the fanatical
System survey complete.
Want to do absolutely nothing aside from decimate you and your loved ones. And you're completely not ready for it at all. Because all you've been doing is peacefully exploring and expanding. So, true story, this doesn't feel natural to me. Bleh. I'm in a mood. I don't know. This may have cured my sort of desire to play it enough to let me play something else. I'm gonna drop off now and figure out what the hell I want to do probably tomorrow.